Which generation do you think is the most terrifying?
Small girl with Travis Kelce because he is large boy.
Hey you guys, we did it. We are officially the most annoying generation to work with.
You guys are fucking ruining all the work my people put in for you. We put the avocado on the toast.
Studies show that the younger generation, so Gen Zs, are lower at problem solving, lower at independence, and lower at stress tolerance than any generation before them.
Can everybody actually just stop talking, please? I know I'm not the only one seeing the constant comparison of each generation from either the generation before it or after it. And honestly, it all annoys me so much. I don't know what generation I'm a part of. Some people say Gen Zs start from 95 and some people say it starts from 97. I fall right in between that, born at 96. So I don't know what generation I should be defending. Quite honestly, I don't want to defend any of it. So I do relate to both Gen Zs and millennials, but apparently they hate each other. And it's not just Gen Zs and millennials, it's boomers, it's Gen X, it's everybody. I don't know why in this world, in this time that we're living in right now, everybody's so hell-bent on competing with each other. The older generations are always saying, oh, you guys have it so easy. Do we? Do we really? Can we just acknowledge the fact that each and every generation from as far back as we can study has had a challenge of their own? Are you the enemy of progress? Because there is no way you should be upset with the fact that our society has progressed so much that the issues that you used to struggle with, we now have a solution for. We don't give out awards for grin and bear it. You don't get an award for that. Every single generation criticizes the attitude and behaviors of every other generation that they're not a part of. And what I will say to the older generations is, do you not realize that whatever attitudes you're complaining about from the younger generation, these are attitudes that you helped to develop? We contribute to the behaviors of the generations after us. We are teaching them how to be. They will mimic us in some way. So in essence, to criticize them is really to criticize a reflection of ourselves. And let's talk about youth. Everybody wants to be young so bad. Personally, I just want to look my age. The thing that everybody's talking about now is how old Gen Zs look for their age. And I do agree that some persons look older than others, but under what circumstances? So Jordan is the TikToker that went popular for talking about how old he looks while being a Gen Z who is only 26 years old. And I do agree, he does look a bit older. But if Jordan popped out one day with a new, fresh haircut, a different style of clothing, he would look much younger than he did in that video. And then most of the women that are being criticized are wearing makeup. In 2024, we know that makeup has the power to either age you or make you look younger. It all depends on how the makeup is applied. And then some of the people I saw stitching the videos talking about, oh my gosh, I get mistaken for being 16 all the time. Please be so for real. You look exactly like your age. Let's not forget, aging doesn't only show in your face. Like your neck, your arms. These are not the arms of a 40-year-old. And it's obvious. Other parts of your body show age other than your face. So to me, it's obvious that you are the age that you said that you are. To me. And even if some people do look a bit older, we don't know what people have been through in their lives, and there are certain situations that can in fact age us. What is so wrong with being older anyway? Aging is to me such a blessing. To get the blessing of aging is a privilege, especially now when so many things are happening in our world. Let's not forget what the opposite of aging is. Let me hop on the Gen Zs for a second, because Gen Zs love to call everybody so cringe, especially millennials. And I want to tell you something. I want to let you in on a little secret. We're all cringe. Every single one of us is cringe. Things that we call cringe now were the things that were popular back in the day. So just keep in mind that all the things that we are so hyped about right now, they're going to be cringe in a few years' time, or whatever that generation calls cringe in that time. It's going to be cringe. And then we call so many things cringe when we actually recycle so many trends. Like everything comes back in style. Almost every single slang, it's either added to or tweaked a bit, but it's the same thing. Sometimes it comes back the same. Clothing preferences, they all come back in. When I was in primary school, I remember so clearly my mother bought me a pair of wide leg jeans. We call them bellfoot. I don't know if they call it bellfoot jeans everywhere. That's what we call it in Jamaica. So my mother bought me a pair of bellfoot jeans, and I hated I hated those pants so much. She couldn't get me to wear them. If I was ever wearing them and I spotted like a classmate of mine anywhere, I felt like I wanted to disintegrate into the earth. Not me in 2020, I think, or a few years back, zigging down the internet for a pair of bellfoot jeans because I love them so much. Everything is recycled, Hans. And bellfoot jeans were not just for that time. They were trending way before that. I think it was the 70s. I'm just saying that to say all the trends that we call cringe, they're going to come back in style. All the things that are trending now, they're going to be cringe, and then they're going to come back in style in a few years. That's just how the cycle goes. And you might wonder why I'm acting so should I say passionate? Why I'm acting so passionate, or why it annoys me so bad. We have so many things going on in our world, and we're distracting ourselves with generational wars. I'm not saying that we shouldn't have any form of escapism at all, but the emphasis that we're putting on these things that are not important, we really need to redirect that energy. It's going to be really hard for our world to positively change, and I don't think having conversations like this is making it any better. No, I'm not against constructive criticism at all, and I do think some criticisms or some comparisons are necessary. I don't want to sound like a hypocrite, but sometimes I really do understand where everybody's coming from. Like in cases where older generations would say like, that wouldn't fly in my day, what I take from that is that I experienced negative consequences for my negative actions when I was a child, and that deters me from making negative choices now. Or when younger generations would say, back in your day, houses cost like 5 cents. And even though that's an exaggerated statement, I do get where they're coming from. The cost of living now is much higher than it was back when you were young adults and starting out life. We have to admit that the cost of living now, as opposed to back then, it's crazy. Like, everything is so much more expensive now, and that affects our current quality of life. It affects the choices that we make, our financial decisions, especially where we decide to live, how we decide to live. Everything in our way of life is affected now much more negatively than back in your day when houses were 5 cents. So in some cases, comparison is in fact necessary, is in fact valid, but let's not make it an us against them type of situation, especially over things that really right now just do not matter. What we really should be doing is tapping into each generation and trying to learn from each other. There are so many things that we could learn from older generations, and also older generations. There are so many things that you could actually learn from us. The times are moving. You have to move with that times, honey. So if the conversation is not going to positively affect our lives, let's just not take it so seriously. Okay? Okay, thanks.